Hello everybody, this is Matt here, and today I'm going to be talking about the helicopters in the Battlefield Hardline Beta and what my thoughts on them are and if they are underpowered or overpowered. Now in the Hardline Beta we have two helicopters. We have the transport choppers and we have the attack choppers, which are kind of like scout choppers. And I have actually been enjoying the helicopters in this game. So, the transport choppers are basically the same as Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3, you can hold 6 people, and, you can just hold, you have people in the side, you have people on guns, you have miniguns, so you can have, 3 different machine guns, and then you can also, and then on the attack choppers, you can have miniguns, heavy machine guns, and stuff. So, you can actually customize these, which are actually pretty cool. A lot of people have been saying that the helicopters are actually underpowered, and I want to give my thoughts on these. And a few days ago I actually went 23-0 using the helicopter. I went 23-0. We actually lost the game because our teammates weren't really doing anything for the objectives. They weren't really capturing anything. They weren't doing that great. So but we were still taking out enemy helicopters and stuff, and it was a very fun match, and it was probably my best match in Battlefield Hardline, for at least for KD. I know KD doesn't really matter in Battlefield, but it was still, a pretty cool match, and it was pretty fun. And I've had other games where I go on these massive kill streaks with helicopters, whether it's a transport chopper or it's a attack chopper. Now, we don't have the attack choppers from Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 3. We don't have those, massive attack choppers they don't have heat seekers, they don't have these explosive weapons. They don't have any of that. So they are kind of harder to use I don't think there's a single weapon on the helicopters that have splash damage. You're kind of at a disadvantage if you can't aim, which I'm not going to say I'm the best helicopter pilot, but in Battlefield 4 I actually really liked flying helicopters. I thought they were pretty cool. I thought, I'm not going to say I'm the best, but I usually liked being the gunner on helicopters. I'm not going to say I'm the best pilot. I'm not the most accurate gunner as well with, and I'm not the best at shooting while flying, but I do like, being in the gunner position. And that's what I usually do in Battlefield Hardline. Now, I will say the helicopters aren't as great as Battlefield 4 or a lot of other previous Battlefield games, just because this is the cops and criminals game. Any player can damage you, or any vehicle can damage you now. Basically, if you have a gun, you can damage a helicopter. Because, since this is a cops and criminals game, it wouldn't make much sense for people to have RPGs and for people to carry stingers and stuff. But they are battle pickups, and I will talk about that later in this video. So, since people don't have these rockets, and the mechanics only have the grenade launchers, which don't have that great of range. They have a pretty bad drop off. So, to balance that out, you can damage a helicopter even with like a pistol. Sure, you're not going to do the most damage, but if you're using an LMG, which LMGs are also battle pickups. But if you're using like a battle rifle or a SMG or something, or an assault rifle even, you can do a lot of damage to a helicopter. And it can be kind of annoying that any player can damage you. So it is kind of harder to fly, because in Battlefield 4, if somebody's playing as the recon, they're not going to be able to kill you unless they can throw C4 at you. So they're not going to be able to kill you unless they can also shoot you out the helicopter. It can actually shoot you as a player and kill you, but that's very hard to do. So if you're playing as Battlefield 4, basically your only threat is engineers. So in Battlefield 4 you can make sure that you kill the engineers first and then move on to the other players. But now, since any player can kill you, it is kind of harder to kill more swarms of enemies. It is kind of harder to do that because they can all damage you, and you are a pretty big target to them if they are all together. So you can die there. Another thing is that in the attack chopper, you can't repair it unless you get out and repair it. You can't repair it inside, which is basically a scout helicopter in Battlefield 4. You can do that, but you don't have people on the side. You have basically the pilot that also has a machine gun, and then you have a gunner that has like a minigun. And that minigun, man, that minigun is so good. I actually love that minigun. but it doesn't have any splash damage, so you have to be kind of accurate. And since any player can damage you, you're at a pretty big disadvantage against infantry. Now, for vehicles, it can be kind of hard for people to take you out, but they can still do it. Now, in the beta, we only have one Conquest Large map, and then we have two Hotwire maps with Downtown and Dust Bowl on Hotwire. But Hotwire, we only have transport choppers, and then on Conquest Large, we have the attack choppers and the transport choppers. And I feel like that map in general, it's mostly flat, so it doesn't have much cover. With mountains, with natural cover, or even buildings, it doesn't have too much cover that you can kind of land behind and then repair, or you can get behind and use that to your advantage. You can't do that. There's also no heat seekers, so if you want to take out another helicopter, you have to actually shoot at it. But you can take out helicopters pretty easy if you have a gunner and a pilot working together. And since there's no natural cover, or not much cover on this map, I feel like that's one reason why a lot of people don't like the helicopters and why I think they're underpowered. Another thing is that the stingers are overpowered. In my opinion, basically, like I said, you don't have stingers on your character. You can't equip a stinger. So you can actually find them, and I believe on the map Dust Bowl, there's three. There's three stingers that you can find, and I feel these are very overpowered because, one, you get three stinger missiles whenever you pick one up. Another thing is that the damage on these are very overpowered, are very powerful. They do a lot of damage. Like, if you get hit with the transport chopper, you get disabled, and you get about 50 health taken away from you, or about 60, and then they can just fire another shot at you while you're disabled, because you can't really move that well while you're disabled. They could reload, shoot another one at you, and then they kill you, and they get like an easy multi-kill. But if you're in a scout helicopter or a attack helicopter, they don't have much health. So if they can hit you about once, and they'll do about 90 damage and disable you. So if you already have damage on you, and that's only like if you already have somebody shooting at you and they shoot one stinger missile at you, you're gone. You're gone. And since they can do that 3 times, if they hold on to that stinger, they could take out basically all your air units. I mean, they could take out your attack chopper and your transport chopper just with one stinger pickup. I feel like maybe they should only have 1 missile or maybe 2 missiles. I don't think they should have 3. I also think that there's maybe too many pickups. I think there should only be maybe 1 stinger pickup, maybe in the middle of the map, so people could fight over that at the central point where B is, at the motel. But I don't think there should be 3. But overall, I don't think that the helicopters are that overpowered, or even underpowered. I feel they're kind of balanced. I just feel those stingers, man. Those stingers are pretty powerful. And another thing is, I feel since this is an open beta, I feel like a lot of new Battlefield players that don't really know how to fly that well are also flying. So, or they're not maybe the most accurate. And I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm the best pilot in Battlefield. I'm not saying that, but I can fly, and I can fly without crashing most of the time. And I feel like since there are these new players that can't really fly all too well, and since there's no test range as well, I feel like they're trying out the game and they can't fly too well, and that's another reason why I feel people say that they're underpowered. Another thing is that we haven't unlocked many weapons in the beta. Since the beta's only been out for, and it's gonna go away, it's only been out for like 5 days so far. Since the beta, is less than a week, people haven't unlocked everything for the helicopters. But I feel once people start getting the miniguns and the more powerful weapons in the transport choppers and in the attack choppers, I feel more people will use those, and they'll get better kill streaks, and they'll do better with them because of more powerful weapons. And I believe the transport chopper weapons, where you can actually customize your weapons, for the minigun it's about 30,000 points, and then you also have to buy it, I'm pretty sure, which I don't know how much it costs because I haven't unlocked it, but I'm pretty sure you will have to buy it with real, with in-game money. So I also want to talk about the Hotwire game mode. Now, in Hotwire, we have transport choppers. We don't have attack choppers. So I want to ask you guys, would you like to see attack choppers in the Hotwire game mode? Because they are pretty powerful against vehicles, but I want to know, like, will that, be overpowered, and will, like, because of course, I think if two people are working together as pilots, and, you have a good pilot and you have a good gunner in the attack chopper, then I feel they should be rewarded with a good kill streak and with some good firepower. But I also feel that it shouldn't be so overpowered that they can just wreck anything, even if they're not working together. It could work in the Hotwire game mode. I feel if they test it out once the game gets released on CTE, then they could do that. But I feel like the transport chopper in Hotwire isn't that bad either. So let me know what you think. Would you actually like to see that, like to see a attack chopper in the Hotwire game mode? Because ground units could still take it out with stingers and stuff, and just actual guns. So let me know what you think on that. Hope you all enjoy. Feedback is always appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Spotted targets.